projections from the date that this was reported on 8/31. So we did ask that question about the various line items tracking at different levels.
Yeah, because several of the items have been overspent the last couple of years as well.
So let me give you a couple for instances. As of the date of our meeting, where the postage was at $310, that was up around $550. Programs were up to $1367. Continuing ed was up to $985. Travel expenses still were low. Reviews of journals were still low, but Catherine had projected some things that had not come in yet. Children's audio visual was up to $1465, and department supplies, it was I believe she had a different number, but I didn't record it in my notes.
Okay.
With the continuing education and the course reimbursement, have any of the people who were formerly employed that went to Meredith or some other town, are they people who availed themselves of this course reimbursement and now they've left after we supported the program?
The two that left.
You see how, I mean, you guys, look at that. He didn't even have to speak and you already.
He we saw him with his hand.
You could see the hairy eyeball.
We have to tie him now.
The two that left did not. And that specifically was in there for the children's librarian. So, I mean, she's the one that's been using that.
Do you have any way of being assured that once that person takes enough courses that they're going to stay in our employ without leaving?
We do not have.
That's not the way the world works.
That's the way it works with police and fire. They're committed for X number of years. And
we do not, but I will put forward that we pay her a substantially lesser amount than we would when she gets her degree. Yes. Jessica.
I have a question on the heat and electricity. That page back there that shows the significant improvement. Why is that?
It was broken out into two separate line items.
Yeah,
so
but in 10 it was 20,000, and in 11 it was.
Because there's another line item that is right below it, the zero.
Heating.
Oh, okay. I saw all that, and then I went over here to the next page, and I saw electricity and heat and air conditioning. I said, boy, that's a big gain. I pay attention to that stuff. But I missed
The net of the two is up. Okay.
Because, yeah, in previous years, we've budgeted it all in one line item, and now we've taken out the electricity for the HVAC system into one line, and electricity for the building in another line.
Question.
Yes.
I know that there are some out there now, and you read about it, but do you see, like, for example, with the increased usage of the Nook or the Kindle, do you see that maybe decreasing some of the costs for some of the books?
We have not yet. I mean, it's really just kind of stimulated interest, actually. Our circulation numbers have not gone down. Mm-hmm. We've had more books circulating, so we have not seen that trend as of yet. I'm not saying that it will never happen.
Now, I know you don't do the Kindle.
We do have Kindles at the library, actually.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because when I called, they said that they didn't have any of that available. So that's why I
Oh, when did you call?
A couple months ago.
Okay. Well, we have two Kindles.
But can you download, and I don't know if I was reading it on the state website or where I was reading it, but someplace you can go in and download it for 2 weeks?
Correct, yes. So you go into our website and there are ebooks available through the New Hampshire Downloadable Consortium, and you can get that on your Kindle or your Nook. Or
so that may be
you need
helpful.
a library card,
right,
to do that. Yeah,
but that may be helpful.
How do they make you give that back?
They cut you off.
Yeah,
They
and raises.
Yeah.
Huh?
It's gonna build.
Oh, because they can go in and.
Yeah.
showed you my technology. I thought once you had it, you had it.
Are you experience? Is there any truth to the rumor that as the economy's on the decline and depressed, that the library usage actually goes up?
Absolutely.
Because I know we've seen Borders. I think Barnes and Noble's closed a few stores. It just seems to be logical that.
No, absolutely. Our circulation skyrockets when the economy is bad and tends to get a little lower. I mean, that's nationwide too. That's not just Guilford. I mean, that's trends in public libraries.
Kevin, I'll tell you, I have a friend that volunteers there, and she says the amount of DVDs that are borrowed from the library is absolutely phenomenal.
See, I'm old school. I thought it was just books.
Sue? Yeah.
Do you anticipate buying any more Kindles or Nooks this year?
We don't. One we bought and one was a gift.
What's the lifespan of a unit like that?
I'm not sure. I mean, it's we've
Relatively
had
still new.
them for. I think the first one we got. I mean, it's a first generation Kindle, so it's about 2 years old. Second one we got was right after Christmas this year, so it's less than a year
My
old.
daughter has one. She's had it for 3 years, and she uses it.
Depends if
all the
it's
time.
dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I will say, I mean, the new Kindle Fire that's coming out, I mean, it's a little bit different than the first gen. I mean, you can actually watch video and.
I have another friend who sat on hers, and it's really good.
That's the end of it?
Go ahead, Gus.
Yeah, so just to answer that question, the one thing about the Kindles that have come down, that have come out as a result, the cost used to be around $139. Now they're saying that a regular Kindle is going to be like $79. So the cost is actually coming down because the other versions of the Kindle that offer more services, they're thinking people will go that way. So if actually it's one of those pieces of technology that actually is going down.
So it's probably not with repairing one?
No.
Right,
no.
No.
Okay.
Doesn't all technology eventually go down?
Yeah.
It's supposed to at
Pretty
least,
much.
right?
It all comes down to then they add stuff on to keep the price up. That's what they
Yeah.
do with computers. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, speaking of technology and pricing, I want to go back to the geothermal system, the electricity and heating. 2009, basically, if you add those two line items, we're looking at $20,000, approximately $20,000 last year. We're about $14,000, $15,000 right now. What do you think your run rate will be for the rest of the year on that? And then, I'm looking at budgeted amount for next year is $21,000. So, are we going up over time?
I don't have those exact figures. Jeff, do you have what we're running now? I mean, I think we're a little bit down from last year where we were at this time. So, I mean, I think that 20,000, we're gonna be able to fit it in this year's budget. Next year's budget, I will say, also includes propane. We didn't have that budgeted in our budget last year. So that's $600 for that.
Okay, and I know the first year is with any kind of technology like this, you got to get the bugs out, and I understand
right,
that.
And that was 2008, so I don't have 2008 figures here. But
Right. The question is, have you worked the bugs out of it from your standpoint, where you're
I
getting the
hope so.
right things at the right temperature?
Yeah, I certainly hope so. I mean, it did require a lot of tweaking, as you say. This year, we're still in cool mode right now. I mean, we either have to be in heat or cool, and we have not switched yet. And I know that there were certain areas in the building that were cooling today. We get so much solar gain, and that heat just has nowhere to go.
Okay.
Cross your fingers, it happens in February.
Well, they're
You mean
predicting they're predicting a cold and snowy winter.
Well, that's my life every day.
Yeah, well, that's where you drive.
Every day.
I have a question on the Catherine, on the geothermal. I know in the last couple of years, it's always jumped out at me, the cost of the maintenance on it. But this one I'm seeing 3,100. That's down, isn't it? years past, or is it?
That is the cost of just them coming in and servicing it, not finding anything wrong, yeah, that's just the,
Seems like it was lower than the last couple of years.
but that was in the DPW budget, so.
Catherine, the question we did not ask with the electricity, because we didn't know that there was that new service in, are these numbers before the new service, or keeping in mind that we have a new lower rate service coming into the town for electricity?
Electricity, no, this is before that.
Okay, so we could see some cost savings there.
Correct. One thing I did ask Jeff, because I didn't realize that the town was considering that, we are on what's called the Heat Smart rate with PSNH. So they have the option to turn us off in peak times for up to 4 hours.
4 hours, and no more than 8 hours of the day.
4 times a year. And we did have that happen once over the summer when it was the hottest day of the year.
That's what I didn't do.
And we were off for the full 4 hours. But for getting that, we get a much cheaper rate for the geothermal system. So I
you may
asked
not-
how that would affect.
You may not save much on this new system then.
Yeah, because that discount is on the distribution and not on the energy costs. I did check. That discount is on one of the distribution charges from public service and not on the energy line charge on the bill. I did check those with the geothermal, with both of the meters over at the library. We were paying the full 8.8 cents from public service for the energy. So we will see that savings, in addition to the savings for the heat smart.
Jeff, while you're up there, sorry.
Yep.
To backtrack to the telephone.
Yes.
It's an independent system and the bill goes directly to the town?
I do not, Catherine was just asking me that earlier, and I do not know why that is up. It's probably something that is posted to that account, and I'll check on that and get back to her on that.
Any other questions? Phil?
I think we should discuss a little more with the building maintenance costs, some of the things that are in there, because that has gone up. Part, as I think Fred had mentioned, is that the certain things that were previously in the DPW budget got shifted over. But as was explained to us, certain things such as the landscaping irrigation contract, they received 3 bids for that, and were able to negotiate this price down from up around the $7,000 or $8,000 range. But that, you know, those are the different types of things that are in here that were not in the budget before, and part of the fact that this budget has gone up slightly.
Where are you seeing the landscape irrigation?
Go to page 66, Kevin.
66.
There's a list of building maintenance items
And
here.
you're just below $4 grand for that.
Right.
Yeah, 39.75, and the check, I don't know if you need to come up, maybe just nod the head is good enough for Dale, but if I heard you correctly in the meeting, there were 3 bids, all of 7,000 plus?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. And they negotiated that down. And then some of the other things are just general maintenance costs.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we accept this budget of $449,816 as proposed.
Second.
Charles, second, all right.
I just do have one question now.
Yeah?
I'm fascinated by just one line, by one comment in the review on your children's books, because I buy a lot of children's books, some for myself, actually. What did the 500 House of Bartholomew Cubbins have to do with keeping that line
Phyllis, I'd be happy to
item?
answer that question for you. Fred is delinquent. He did not, he was supposed to provide a book report on that book for all of us tonight, and he did not do his homework.
I was delinquent.
But to give you a serious answer, it's a Dr. Seuss book, and it just happens to be my favorite children's book.
He had his red pen at the ready on the entire
He's
budget.
gonna cut it out.
He didn't have it yet.
I have to admit, my wife went in and I was desperate for a Brad Thor book the other day, and she went into the library, and there's a dozen books out there, and I've read 4, and they had those 4 and one more. I thought, whoa! I've read that one now since I got it. What am I going to do? I'll have to go buy it.
Sorry, so one more just comment on the geothermal system. I guess compared to Moultonborough, which has a similar building, the library is a similar building, is that correct? Similar design. It's they're looking at half the fuel costs. Correct.
Who's half?
So in terms of
We're half of Moultonborough or Moultonborough?
we're half of Moultonborough, so it's
Per square foot.
per square foot.
And they don't have geothermal?
They have conventional
Okay.
oil heat.
It's kind of interesting to hear some real data because I sort of like heat transfer, you know.
Is it near the identical building? Is that correct?
It was built about the same time.
Yes, it's a different kind of
Same
building, but
contractor.
Same contract.
And
Square
so-
foot
so
base,
we know
yeah.
how it was insulated compared to ours. Very subtle.
Well, it's not insulated like ours.
Well, our insulation is better than anybody's.
Yeah.
But it is half of what it would be conventional.
pretty impressive.
And of course, that was before oil jumped up another $1.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to get that kind of data because, you know, you read a lot of pros and cons to geothermal. I can understand, I know the concept, and it should be good, but you still, like, look at the heat you guys were putting up with for a while, you know. First of all, you were baking.
Mr. Chairman, I call for a vote.
Okay, any other questions? If not, all those in favor of the library budget for 449816, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, 12-0. Thanks very much. Now, we want to review last meeting's minutes. We want to review the last meeting's DVD. And I had written down here school subcommittee assignments. We can either do it tonight or next night, but you can see the subcommittees we have are on the agenda, so that people get a feel for what they are. Anybody have a motion on the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Great job, Neil.
Yay.
Yeah, way to go, Mia. All right, everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, Jeff's moving up the TV so we can look at the DVD.
Romans on?
Oh, by the way, something
No, it's not in the budget.
Something I wanted to mention is I received a phone call tonight from Leo, and he said, geez, you know, I was away after I talked to Scott, and then I come back and I read the paper, and it makes me look like a jerk. He says, I wanted to be an anonymous guy who just suggested we have this like the selectmen do, and he says, that's all my
Is he gonna
intent is.
anonymously suggest that to complain to the papers, go to the papers about it?
I said, well, we understand and we appreciate your interest. And I said that we were going to look at this one tonight and see whether we continued on or not.
I do, but now on this week's, all we see is the back of the television, so
Should I stop?
Oh.
Yeah, you should
Well,
stop
I mean-
recording now.
Yeah,
Can't you go from this camera?
that's the, I think the police department.
Right, that's not hooked to this system, that goes directly to dispatch.
It's aimed right
Yeah.
at you, Skip.
No, I'm underneath
Yeah,
it.
okay,
I mean,
I bet you
I
haven't got
was
any.
put it over here by the podium, but then I think they
Yeah,
have
They've got some
difficulty seeing.
time. They were
Does that happen
anxious.
quite often?
That heard we were changing it, and they wanted to make sure they got it quick.
So that's the whole thing.
Yeah,
Oh, the poor guy, every time I see him, he looks about a foot short. I don't think he's doing very well.
That's the volume remote.
Give me a remote, I'm in trouble. I can handle volume. My wife can't. She has one, it's
We don't
too
need to see
loud
the
all
whole
the
thing.
time for her.
No.
personally, I think it turned out pretty well. I watched it at home.
Did you?
Sound was fine. You'll notice there's a few times when I forgot to, push the button. It got stuck on a few people, but.
Now, if we continue are you gonna be the guy that does this?
Yes, we already voted for that.
I don't recall.
Oh, it's because you were busy hitting buttons.
It's in the minutes we just approved.
We all agreed that Mia should not be saddled with this.
Correct.
So
Correct.
The question was who should be? And you have to be able to participate, Dale. Can you participate and run
If you
those
don't
buttons?
mind on occasion that happens, that I forget to move it.
Oh, that's
But
all
I
right
think
with us.
that's normal,
I know how that works.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the only reluctance I have, because I think it probably takes you out of the meeting some.
On occasion it does, but,
And you're elected to be in the meeting.
right. I don't think it's a hindrance yet, but
We'll be the judge.
I think he needs a table.
A
I don't
table.
think
Oh,
the DVD
that stuff
works.
is- Oh, man.
So you know, it's an office of his own.
Yeah, he needs a printer, then a
The town's only
secretary. I mean, come on.
Phone, filing cabinet.
Stipends, yeah, my
stipends.
gas mileage, plus I've got to do membership fees.
You might have to travel.
Oh,
Training,
man.
professional development.
Yeah.
Can
We
I
need a
get tuition
technology
reimbursement
guy.
for this?
Certification.
there we go. Something's going.
Now I just ejected. Now I tried it with a normal DVD. Actually, this one on that was sitting here on the land trust. And it worked
Scintillating.
fine, but when I put this one in, it comes up with a menu, and I can't seem to select.
Well,
And that'd be off the remote.
It does come up with a menu and you have to.
Here's a remote.
You gotta get the remote.
Hey, Jeff.
You don't see me?
Jeff?
Jeff,
No, that's the one for the TV. This is the one for the
Oh.
VCR.
Okay, great. I'm glad you gave me the right one.
And I don't know if it's because of the battery in this, or
Is there a battery in this? That's-
Yeah, switch them.
What kind of
Poor
battery?
musician who blames his problems on his instrument.
that's true.
Switch the batteries. That lots of times will give you another
What are you
shot.
trying to
This one doesn't have batteries in it.
Keeping it
This
clean.
one's too thin to have that.
Just change positions.
Dick, while they're figuring that out, can we start doing the subcommittee assignments?
Yeah.
Okay,
If I look at this correctly, there's 6 subcommittees, there's 9 members, so if each of us sit on 2, there'll be 3 members on each subcommittee. So I'll volunteer for middle school and elementary school too, that I didn't do last year.
All right, so let's, first of all, we have admin, we have high school, middle school, elementary school, special ed, and technology. Should technology be separate or lumped in with one of the others? Since you're gonna be on it.
Oh, I've
You're
been
always on
volunteer- Yeah, well, I suppose. I would put it in with admin. It doesn't take that long to walk through
Okay,
it.
And it changes my,
so it's gonna be, yeah, well, it'll be 3 or whatever for, so admin, maintenance, and technology. All right, so which ones did you want middle school and elementary school?
yeah, I wanted to do 2 that I didn't do last year, so I'll volunteer for those.
Could I have those same two?
All right. Anybody else want to holler some out?
High school,
Okay.
and I guess admin.
I'll do tech and admin and maintenance.
Sue, okay.
I'll do special ed and the high school.
Take those two also get special ed and high school.
Okay,
I'll take whatever's left over.
Well, preferably I do admin middle school if that works out.
all
The
right.
high school already has 3, Kev.
So he's gonna, Kevin has got, or Fred was gonna take middle school. And admin.
There you go.
You got a lot of people on that.
You had it.
I do, I didn't want to
Didn't you type
interrupt
in
the...
admin, maintenance, and technology? You've already got Dale, Dave, Skip, and now Fred.
Right, we'll have 4 on that
Oh,
one.
well, didn't you want to do
I
admin
thought
too?
you were lumping tech, admin, and maintenance in one.
We
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I signed up for that. Who
She's-
else is
Right,
on?
we have Skip, Sue, Fred, and,
I don't have to do that.
No, you have Dale, Dave,
I'll do-
Skip, and Sue. Right? You volunteered Tim. Dave said yes, he would
Who's
do
on?
it.
no,
Dale
Skip,
said,
Skip did, or Dave did not say anything about admin.
okay, so then he's not on that. So then you've got Dale, Skip, and Sue.
And Fred now.
Unless there's another one short.
And you're on middle school.
Yeah. So I'm happy just being
So
on that one. if you-
who's on special ed in high school with me and Kevin?
I have Skip down for that. No?
For admin and
For
high school.
and special ed.
I just said high school.
Kevin, which ones have you signed up for?
I haven't signed up for any. I'll take whatever's left over.
Why don't you do special ed? That's a very good one to break in, because that's a awakening, and it's good and bad.
It is.
That's fine. I'll take that and whatever. What would you say? What do you want? High school?
I got, yeah, I got high school and special ed.
Okay, that sounds fine with me if it's available.
All right, so you're going high school.
High school, special ed.
We got 4 in high school now?
Now
Yeah, we have 4 in high school.
Oh, I don't.
Looks like you
Yeah,
only
there
have 2
won't-
That's all right.
elementary.
You sure?
Yeah.
Because
Because there's enough here that it's worthwhile having those discussions.
Who's on elementary? She thinks we only have 2 on
Yeah,
elementary.
we only have 2 in elementary.
Well, I'll come off high school and I'll do elementary with whoever's doing elementary.
Okay.
Prevented that from happening?
I'll do special ed.
Making sure it happens.
Pat, do you have one you want?
I'll go on maintenance.
Okay, I'll put 5 up there, that's all right. No, that's 4.
Maintenance lumped in with the administration tech.
Okay.
Dale, me, and
Okay.
You'll send this all out.
To
Yeah.
skip this tech talk.
Okay, you want to show us the DVD?
Thanks, Kevin.
we're only watching snippets, is that correct? I mean, we're not watching this whole thing.
No, we just wanted to make sure that, yeah, that's right. I mean, that'll be another meeting, right?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
We're going to topic, planning and land use first.
He has the remote for the volume. Does it
I got it
What
here.
do you do?
And then any general business will be handled at the end. So,
I just have one question. Testing the system tonight? Or, because that was, I thought we only voted last night to trial it.
That man's been testing the system for years to come.
So I just wanted to clarify that because the paper said that we had voted to do it, but I thought we'd only voted to
I was
trial
in
it.
agreement with Phyllis.
Trial.
I think it was a trial, but that we were going to see what happened and then vote on it after we saw the result. Yeah. Yeah.
I have a question on, before we get started, on the public input part of things. Didn't we take Phyllis's recommendation?
Each topic, yeah. So we'll all talk about it, and we'll have public input, then we'll vote. Before we vote. Not during the vote. But it's too hard to put that all on it. So I just say public input up front.
Nice job there, Dale.
Yeah, transition. It goes
But
down
that was the way we voted on it.
This is the highlight.
Now, the other reason, although
How much
planning
more
was
we
to
need
do
to see
planning
volume?
first, the other
I
reason
think
we
we're
do a
seeing
couple
enough
of
to see it's all
Yeah, I'm all
right.
set.
would help us out with the
Great job. Great job.
Do we all get
planning
stunt doubles?
commission. because there's always
Stunt
been.
doubles? You didn't even Photoshop or anything.
Well, if you come in an hour
Except
before, they'll
for-
do makeup.
It's gonna take a lot more
Dave
makeup
needs
on that
more than an
guy.
hour.
I see Phyllis and TJ Maxx all the time.
I have to remember not to shuffle papers.
Here's a remote while you're up, Dale. So now, are we going to, is there going to be a motion to continue this or not continue it or anything?
I would make a motion to continue this.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
It's gonna be on at 4 o'clock in the morning anyways.
Exactly.
You know, it is a good idea for the 3 people that probably watch that to see what goes on.
Well, I think people will watch it when there is a controversial issue that comes up.
I had
I
somebody
think
ask
more
me at the
people
village
just
store
watch it
tonight
than
if it was gonna,
will
when it was gonna
watch
be
it.
on.
But I
And
do think
frankly, it keeps the papers in line.
I do think that if we're gonna do it, we really do need to pay more attention, not only to people coming up there, but to pulling these a little closer. Because frankly, if I do get distracted, it's not gonna be pointed at somebody. The real issue is hearing people. So you just have to pay a little more attention to using the
Good point.
microphones.
Great job, Dale.
Thanks, Dave.
And I do think that if we do this and you're volunteered to run it, if it gets to be a hindrance, I think we can't take you out of the play because that's not the job.
It's to be a hindrance, I just point it in the center and leave it, and we have our discussion. I think, or I just forget about it, but I'll keep an eye on it. It's a
Okay.
point well taken, because I think, I agree that you can't have people taking minutes that are part of it, for the same reason. If it gets to be too much, that's it.
Because everybody's elected to participate.
If Dale's in the heat of battle, I'll reach over and
Okay. Yeah, today you reminded me to put it on somebody, and that's fine. So it works, I think.
Okay, so, all those in favor of now using the DVD as a regular event at all of our meetings, say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? 2. Okay, so a motion to continue passes 10 to 2.
Is there a cost to this? Who provides us with the DVDs?
we have a supplier.
Oh, okay.
And then we mail them to
And then that's
RDA,
where,
so
okay.
it's pretty minuscule.
Yeah. Before you leave.
Somebody has to lick the envelope.
That's Labor Day, though.
Well, you get the dog to do it.
Which dog is that?
The police dog, yes.
Agabar?
Do we have, I thought, are we waiting for a police dog?
No, we have Agabar.
With
I
Akbar.
thought he was,
Agabar has all of a sudden become Mighty Dog. He is just perfect. Better than normal. He had a miraculous
Recovery.
Seriously.
I couldn't remember this.
Okay, any other business?
we'll just lick everybody.
This is a puppy.
Is there a motion?
Make the motion before Gus does.
All
We
right.
can second quick.
Second, all right. All those in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Thank you.
One of these nights I might just vote opposed.
What do I do?
Croc TV.